Hi, I'm Frank Washkuch, news editor at PRWeek, and I'm joined by Amy Love. She is the VP of Brand and Communications and acting CMO at NetApp. Welcome, Amy.
Good morning.
So you've had a lot of changes in how you structure communications at your company in the past 6 months to a year. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Certainly. In particular for communications, we recognized from a strategic point of view that NetApp really needed to speak first and foremost customer first. And along those lines, we also needed to ensure that we could advocate clearly in the marketplace what it is NetApp stood for. And we faced a challenge whereby we had 17 global agencies working with us from a comms perspective. And importance for us is to how to figure out how best to leverage the dollars and the resources within the organization. So we undertook a consolidation program to bring those 17 agencies down to 5 to ensure that we could speak from one voice, one message on a global basis.
17 seems like a lot of agencies for a company. How did you coordinate messaging across the 17, and how do you communicate, or I should say, how do you coordinate the messaging across the 5 now? It seems a lot easier, but why don't you tell us?
Absolutely. You know, I think one of the challenges when you have 17 is much of the time and the investment is spent from an administrative perspective, just trying to get the base core line elements out to each of your agencies. By going with the model of 7 to 5, what it allows us to do is to have one global agency that has the responsibility to ensure that the strategic direction for the company is well understood and articulated to each of the 4 geo agencies. From a go-to-market perspective, we're set up within 4 geos: APAC, EMEA, Americas, and our USPS market. So we've applied that model to each of our 4 global agencies that are working within geo. So they have a responsibility to fully vet and understand the needs of the specific geo, but also work very closely with our global agency to ensure the corporate-wide, global one voice, one message that we want resonating throughout all of our communications work through each of those 5 agencies.
And if you could remind our readers, we've covered this a little bit in the news section, you picked Porter. Who else do you work with now?
Right. We have Hill & Knowlton working for us in EMEA. We have Weber Shandwick working for us in APAC. We have Voce Communications working for us in America, and we have Blue Text working for us for USPS.
So tell us a little bit what it's like to take this unified message as a technology company. It would seem that being a technology company, you have a few more challenges in explaining exactly what you do to consumers, more than, a consumer packaged goods company, for instance.
You're absolutely correct. I think at the foundation level, NetApp's tagline is "Go further, faster." And what that means is businesses built on NetApp can go further, faster through efficiency and agility. That's really the key tenets that we want to have permeate through all of our messaging. But when we talk about one voice, one message, you have to break it down really at 3 levels of conversations. The first level of conversation is at the company strategic level. Second level is at the platform level, and for example, we have 2 platforms. The number one operating system in the marketplace called Data ONTAP, as well as our E-Series product. And at the third level, you have products and solutions. So the key point around one voice, one message is that each of the 3 conversation levels, each agency and throughout your organization understand the key tenets of the voice and the message you want to get across and can articulate it consistently.
And talk to us about being global for a second. How does your message change across cultures? Are there certain things you have to respect or adjust to, or how do you deal with that?
I think the key with this is to ensure that you are able to localize in ways in which it resonates effectively with the marketplace. We have a rather large globalization program inside the corporate office that not only does translations, but also validates our visual language, which is another unique component to our communication strategy of unique visual language drawings that bring to life the elements behind the messaging we want to get out. So with that, we absolutely make customizations relative to the local markets to ensure that it translates effectively. But we also try to start from the outset by choosing language and messaging that can resonate on a global basis from the start.
Amy, thanks again. Again, this is Frank Washkuch, news editor at PRWeek, and I'm here with Amy Love. She's the Vice President of Brand and Communications at NetApp and the acting CMO. Thanks again.